Hello, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Man, this is a late one. For those of you on the live stream, it's 10 p.m. Eastern. And those of you on the rewatch, I guess it doesn't matter what time it is. But for all of you, welcome. Thanks for being here. Hey, as you guys know, there have been almost 1,000 pages of documents released from the Ninth Circuit or the Ninth District State's Attorney's Office in Florida. And I have been going through those. There's lots of information in there. But more importantly than me going through them, I want to show you that if you go over to my website, let's actually start at the beginning. If you just go to gavinfish.com, there's a link down in the description. But if you go to gavinfish.com, click on cases, and click on Maddie, you will see that there is a lot more documents there. What I've done is I've spent all day, so much time, all of my free time today, I have spent going through that almost 1,000-page document and dividing it into reports where it could be organized chronologically. For me, that's just the easiest way. That's the best way for me to look at a case. And I post it here on my website. So that's why, I think there were probably 9 files there before. Now there's something like 70 there. And I make those available to my patrons over on Patreon to have unfettered access to that. If you're not one of my patrons, then no worries, because we will go through these documents together here on YouTube. I'm going to do 2 of them tonight. And Lily says Gavin sounds very tired. Yeah, Lily, I am tired. I am. I have had enough today. Been working my full-time job, and then in all of my breaks and all of my free time getting these things organized. But I think it's important to do. So if you would like to consider supporting me on Patreon, for $3 a month, you get access to all the files on my website. There are over 1,200 individual investigation files on lots of different cases. So please consider doing that if you'd like to support me financially. If not, don't worry about it, because your support in watching these videos is huge. I can't even tell you. It is absolutely huge. All right. What we're talking about, again, is the murder of 13-year-old Madeline Soto. Madeline went missing. We're using air quotes here. Went missing on February 26th, 2024. It's just, 4 short months ago? Less than 4 months ago. And the story, as you guys know, was that, hey, her mom's boyfriend dropped her off at school. Mom saw her in the kitchen in the morning, knew what she was wearing. And it turns out that the state is now alleging that this guy, Stephen Stearns, her, I guess, would-be stepfather, he was referred to as her stepdad. He was in a long-term relationship with Maddie's mom, Jennifer Soto. Here's Jen right here. And it turns out that this guy is allegedly the guy who took Maddie's life. And in my opinion, mom knew, based on all these documents. Now, I will say that is just my opinion, and I've spent so much time organizing these things that I haven't gone through a lot of them. And I know that there's a lot in there, so we are going to dig in. Now, one last thing before we really dig in here, guys. I would like to just bring to your attention that on cases like this where we have a lot of people in the live chat, I often miss your comments. And so if you have a comment that you want me to see, please just put GF in your comment. And here is a very good comment here. Kelly says, Gavin, now we know both Jen and Stefan didn't attend the party. What do you make of Jen's reaction to Stefan when he told her to give photos from the party to the cop? Then she snapped him. Yeah, they they haven't been on the same page, have they, Kelly? have not been on the same page. No, these are, in my opinion, two criminal would-be masterminds, and you guys know Gavin's hard law of criminal mastermindery, and that is, if you think what you've got what it takes to be a criminal mastermind, that is evidence that you do not. And we listened, if you guys remember, we did this on the channel, but we listened to this file together, which was a 43-minute interview of Stephen Stearns the day after that Maddie supposedly went missing, right? And a mastermind he is not. But anyway, let us begin our deep dive here, starting with reading a story from Click Orlando. And you're asking yourself, Gavin, why are you reading a story? Just get into the documents. No, this story is short, and they do a very good job of kind of grabbing the highlights. And then we're not going to have enough time tonight to go through all of these documents. I have selected 2 that I want to go through, and then we will come back on some others, okay? So join me over here on screen 2. The story is titled Documents Shed New Light on Suspects' Movements the Day Madeline Soto Disappeared. All right. Hundreds of pages of newly released court documents offer new evidence against Stephen Stearns, the man accused of killing 13-year-old Madeline Soto in February, including a rough timeline of where Stearns allegedly traveled the day of the teen's disappearance. Stearns faces the death penalty if convicted of murder. We talked about that yesterday, right? The files released by the state attorney's office include pages and pages of interview summaries with witnesses and people who knew Soto and Stearns, cell phone mapping images, and how investigators use surveillance and license plate readers to help track Stearns from leaving the apartment complex in Kissimmee the morning of February 26th to driving to an area of St. Cloud. That's where Soto's body was found days later. That reminds me, let me go over here real quick. One of the documents on this page, I think it might be the first one, because I believe I've got these all ordered correctly chronologically. This thing right here, this file, is like 200 pages and it's going to take a while to load, guys. I might want to let this load here for a second because it's like a 200 megabyte file. But okay, it's 418 pages of GPS locations of Stephen Stearns' cell phone. And I mean, it's absolutely fascinating to go through it. They follow him exactly where he went that day. I mean, they can follow him to a T, triangulate where he is the entire 2 days. This case, or this file, follows him from February 25th in the evening all the way through February 26th. So, check that out. It's a fantastic file. Okay. Jennifer Soto, the teen's mother and Stearns' girlfriend, originally wrote in a sworn statement that she observed her daughter getting ready for school around 8 a.m. on February 26th, the day Madeline Soto was reported missing. I would submit to you guys for your consideration that it was not Jennifer Soto, nor was it Stephen Stearns that reported her missing. But in a later interview with detectives, Jennifer Soto denied seeing her daughter that morning and instead heard someone in the kitchen who she assumed was Madeline, court records show. And I've got a real problem with this. I've got a real problem with the changing of stories. You guys remember when we listened to that 43-minute interview of Stephen Stearns by those 2 amazing detectives that I think were from the Kissimmee Police Department, who already knew the answers to so many things before they even talked to him. He would, when presented with a contradiction to his story, he would make up a reason why he got that wrong. And that's what I'm feeling is happening here with JENN SOTO. Oh, yeah, did I say that I saw her at 8 a.m.? No, I think I just heard her and just assumed that it was her. And yeah, I knew exactly what she was wearing that day, of course. But anyway, Jennifer Soto told investigators the last time she actually saw her daughter was around 11 p.m. the prior evening when she sent the teen to go to bed, and that with Stearns in an upstairs bedroom. Let that sink in for a second. Guys, I want to be alone. I have anxiety. I really need a good night's sleep. You, my 13-year-old daughter, and you, my whatever 37-year-old boyfriend, head on upstairs and do your thing. That's what she did. That's what she said she did. Okay. So that actually makes me believe, guys, and we're going to get into these documents, believe me. But that actually makes me believe, like, I had wondered what the timeline was. Was there a fight in the morning? Was there a scuffle in the morning or something like that? And no, I actually believe now it happened sometime in the night, which gave both Soto and Stearns the amount of time to try to think through what their plan was going to be. Again, refer back to Gavin's iron law of criminal mastermindery, which I stole from somebody else, I'm sure. Anyway. Okay. So last time she saw her daughter was around 11 p.m. the prior evening when she sent the teen to go to bed with Stearns in an upstairs bedroom of their Kissimmee apartment, according to court records. The mother reportedly said that was a common arrangement when she needed a good night's sleep. That, you know, the reason that I believe that is bullpucky is that nobody would do that. You could send your daughter or you could send your significant other to the couch. Your daughter should be in her bed, right? Send the significant other to the couch. Or, I mean, whatever. I think there's so many holes in this story, and it angers me because I know what the result was. Okay, at 7:35 a.m., surveillance cameras at the Venetian Bay Village Apartments captured video of Stearns, quote, discarding something in the trash compactor, which investigators believe was Madeline's backpack and school laptop. And that reminds me of somebody who mentioned over in the fish tank that how like startled Jennifer Soto was in those body cam videos that we went through to discover that they can track a laptop, right? If you haven't been to the fish tank, guys, head over to my website, gavinfish.com, and click this little fishy up in the upper corner, and that will land you on the fish tank. We're a group of true crime lovers, and we like to share lots of things, including disturbing things, some fun things. We like to chat with one another, and there are other benefits like being notified when I'm going live. So, but somebody said, remember what she looked like in the video? And sure enough, she really was startled about that. Okay. The video also showed a female wearing a green sweater in the front passenger seat of Stearns' car, completely slumped over with her mouth ajar. At 7:50 a.m., surveillance video shows Stearns' car leaving the apartment complex. At 8:19, it returns and then leaves again at 8:31. Each time, a body believed to be the teen's can be seen in the car with her head visible, tilted on her left shoulder. The disrespect for, like, I don't know how he doesn't have a charge of like desecration of a corpse or something like that. He obviously was messing around with his corpse. Maybe Florida doesn't have something like that, and they already have him on 60 charges, so maybe it doesn't matter. Okay. Stearns told detectives he dropped Madeline off near Hunters Creek Middle School at 8:40 a.m. But around that same time, investigators say a license plate reader detected Stern's car miles away from the school. At 9:40 a.m., surveillance cameras at an office building on John Young Parkway captured Stern's vehicle entering the top floor of a parking garage. Hang on a second. A man then opened the passenger door and proceeded to carry what appeared to be a limp female body to the trunk of the vehicle, police records show. Using data from license plate readers and surveillance video from nearby buildings, investigators were able to trace Stern's car as it traveled east from Kissimmee towards St. Cloud and Old Hickory Tree Road, court records indicate. That's where investigators later found Madeline Soto's body laying face down between some bamboo trees and covered in debris. Investigators have also said they found images and video on Stern's phone showing that he had been abusing her for years. Stearns has pleaded not guilty. Okay, so that is a very good, I guess, Reader's Digest condensed version of everything that is on my website right now in all of these files. Okay. But why don't we go and we're going to read a couple of these files. Let's go over to Acrobat here real quick. And let's see, there is Nifty 50 says, Gavin, I've waited all day for this. Thank you so much for your time and dedication. We appreciate you. Well, I appreciate you too. Thank you very, very much. And just like Nifty 50, if you want to get my attention here, just put GF in your comment and I will have a look when we kind of take breaks in between these documents, okay? I'm just going to leave that up for a second. All right. This is a supplemental report. This is one of the two reports that I've decided is probably good to start with, and we'll get to the others, I promise. Maybe not all of them, but we'll get to a lot of them, okay? So let me just kind of scroll down to the good stuff, the narrative. Okay, so let's see real quick. Who is this person? I might have to go down. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. The person doing this is, man, I can't even tell. Can't even tell who it is. I think it's Detective Tagler. All right. Here we go. There are just a few things here that I want to go over, and we'll go through the whole thing, but some of it we've already been through. Okay, the background. On February 26th at approximately 1853, the Orange County Sheriff's Office received a call for service referencing a missing juvenile. At approximately 1948 hours, Deputy Frankie Joseph responded to the complex in reference to a missing 13-year-old juvenile, later identified as Madeline Soto. Deputy Joseph made contact with Madeline's mother, Jennifer Soto, who advised the following in a verbal and sworn written statement. Here it is. On February 26, 2023, at approximately 8 a.m., Jennifer observed Madeline getting dressed for school. That's what she said. It seems unequivocal. It's not, I heard a commotion in the kitchen and assumed that it was Madeline. No, she said she observed Madeline getting dressed for school. At approximately 8:30 a.m., Jennifer's boyfriend, Stephen Stearns, took Madeline to school and dropped her off near the intersection of Town Loop Road. Let's just go ahead and skip all that background stuff. We all know it. Okay. Now let's go to the investigative detail. I think, yeah, okay. On February 27th, 2024, at approximately 4 p.m., Detective Tagler was notified of the missing person investigation and responded to assist with canvassing. I responded to the initial command post located at this place. Upon my arrival, I was tasked to speak with Stephen Stearns and Detective L. Acosta. Before speaking with Stephen, I was advised the vehicle he was driving, a 2010 silver Lincoln MKZ, had been seen in the following locations. And there are 4 that they knew of at this time, right? So southbound on S. John Young Parkway in Osceola County, at the Osceola County line at 8:10 a.m., nowhere near the school. Southbound on the Parkway, again at 10:05 a.m. Southbound on the Parkway, again at 11:48 a.m. Eastbound on US 192 and Pecan Street at 1:05 p.m. and westbound on US 192 and Academy Drive at 2:23 p.m. So these are things that they knew, and then they were going to interview him, okay? Okay, now this is the part that I highlighted and want to show you guys. On February 27th, Detective Acosta and I conducted a digitally recorded sworn interview with Stephen Stearns, which we've listened to. Okay, Stephen currently resides in Northport, Florida, but comes to Kissimmee, Florida occasionally to spend time with Jennifer and Madeline. On February 25th, 2024, at approximately 10:45 p.m., Stephen arrived at Jennifer and Madeline's residence. No, I'm sorry, that's 8:45 p.m. 2045, 8:45 p.m. When he arrived, Jennifer was still at work, and he directed Madeline to get ready for bed. Once Jennifer arrived, she informed Stephen and Madeline she would like to sleep in and directed them to sleep upstairs in the guest room. Guys, let me just finish it. Following morning, Stephen and Jennifer probably woke up at approximately 7 to 7:15 a.m. to get an early start so they could purchase food from McDonald's before school. Madeline and he left the residence between 7:30 and 7:45 and headed toward McDonald's. On the way to McDonald's, Madeline slept the entire time with her head slumped over, I think it was to the left, and her mouth ajar. Right? Okay. This part kills me. Stephen has been gone. According to the interview that he did, he had been down in Northport with his parents. He said that they are getting up there in years. He was helping them with a lot of different things. And then, so he would have been gone for a while. We know, I shouldn't say we know. The police allege that there were 1,700 photos of Stephen Stearns doing all manner of disgusting and depraved abuse against Madeline from the time she was 8 years old. He was gone. She was probably feeling pretty good about life. He comes home, and that very night, Jennifer goes, "You two sleep in the same room." Just absolutely disgusting to me, makes me so angry. I think, yeah, that's all I wanted to share out of this one. Just the fact that that it was the very day that he returned that she gave her little 13-year-old girl to him. And I honestly believe that that was done on purpose. I can't imagine any scenario where that was not done on purpose. You're telling me that you have been apart from your boyfriend, the man who you allegedly love. You've been apart for some time, and when he comes home, you don't want to sleep together? No, that is messed up. That is not right. That is absolutely not. That does not pass any kind of smell test. She gave him her daughter when he came home. That's what I think. Absolutely horrific. It's horrifying. Okay, that's what I wanted to share out of that one. Let's go to this next one. Bring it back over here. This is an incident report from March 4th from Detective Brittany Bradshaw. Let me back this up just a little bit. Okay. Let's scooch on down here. Okay. All right. We know about the background. This is a series of interviews that Detective Bradshaw did with, man, I need you guys to be able to see the whole thing. What do we think? 175 maybe? Bring it about there. There we go. Okay. These are interviews that Detective Bradshaw did with several other people, including friends of Maddie's, including school counselors and so forth. I would like to read a couple of these, okay? An interview with Redacted on February 27th at 1:05 p.m. Okay, Redacted is the best friend of Madeline Soto, also known as Maddie. They've known each other since they were in 4th grade. She is also close with Maddie's mother, Jennifer. Maddie has never told her anything about running away other than if she did, she would run away to the woods and find a place to stay. And I think this is probably the source material where we have heard since February that Maddie wanted to run away from the woods. It does not seem that that is the case. It's just that I don't want to run away, but if I did, I'd go to the woods. That's the kind of thing. Okay? Maddie told her she didn't get along with her mom. She had heard from a friend that Maddie's mom told her she was going to kick her out of the house and disown her when she turned 18 or 19. Now, that little sentence right there, that's right there. Let's highlight that. To me, being a layperson, not a professional at all, but to me that screams jealousy, that screams envy, that if it is true that Jennifer was planning on kicking her out of the house at 18 or 19, because she was jealous of what the relationship, let's call it. I don't even know what to call that. I mean, it's not a relationship. It's abuse, right? But coming from the mind of somebody who is maybe doesn't have the mental power that you would need to not think this way, and maybe somebody who's been coercively controlled over the course of a lot of time. That's a theme that we've been talking about a lot here on the channel. She might have some sort of envy or jealousy of her own daughter, which is sick, but that's what it feels like to me when I read that sentence. Okay, she talked to Maddie every day on the phone, and Maddie would also text her every morning when she woke up. She thought it was odd that she did not receive a text from Maddie on Monday, February 26, 2024. When she called Maddie on the morning of the 26th, there was no answer. She further stated Maddie only mentioned her biological father briefly, but she was always on a call with her stepdad, Stefan. That, again, guys, is completely and utterly weird to me. It is weird to always be on a call with her quote-unquote stepdad here, Stefan. Okay, continuing on. Stefan and Maddie were always texting each other or talking on the phone. This makes me feel like Stefan has Maddie believing that this is normal. This is a loving relationship, right? This is something that should continue or something. It's wrong and sick on many levels, but if they're having these kinds of conversations, calls and texts, I feel like he has convinced her that this is good. Maddie loved him and they were really close. That sentence right there is haunting to me. It's just frightening to me. Stefan is Maddie's mom's boyfriend, and he has been in her life for a long period of time. Stefan recently moved out of the home, but still visits often. Stefan and Maddie's mom were also very close. I don't know. Maddie talks to Stefan at least 2 to 3 times a week on the phone, but also texts with him. She usually talks to him on the phone in the afternoon, night. This witness described Stefan as very interested in... I'm guessing one of those redactions is Maddie. It could be the witness or it could be Jennifer. I don't know. Very interested in Maddie. I think it might be Maddie both times. And Maddie would tell him about things going on at school. Maddie never disclosed to her anything inappropriate that Stefan said or did, and she has never witnessed anything inappropriate between Maddie and Stefan. Normally, Maddie's mom or grandparents bring her to school. She does not recall a time when Stefan has ever brought her to school. That I know that we have heard before, but that is super, super important to me. Okay. The witness stated there are roommates that also live in the home with Maddie and her mother. She believes it is people who are close to their family but don't have enough money to live on their own. Last time she talked to Maddie was on Sunday, February 25th, 2024, at Maddie's birthday party. Or at somebody's birthday party. Was her birthday party the day before? I think it was. For some reason in my mind, I was thinking that it was a few days before. But I think it was the day before. You guys tell me. Put GF in your comments and tell me in the comments, okay? We'll get back to this. It was common for Redacted to talk about money for her about getting money for her birthday. So Maddie. Maddie got mad at so-and-so for not giving her any money for her birthday and complained because she didn't get enough money for her birthday. I think the witness left the party at approximately 7 p.m. and did not verbally speak with Maddie again. She stated Maddie does not miss school often, but is sick a lot. Oh, let's highlight that. Maddie does not miss school often, but she is sick a lot. And that, you know, I don't have any experience with what poor Madeline was experiencing. I've none of that experience. Thankfully. Man, I often, guys, I just can't believe the family lottery that I won. I know way too many people who lived in normal looking homes that did not have parents that loved and cared and took care of them. And I certainly did, and I'm very grateful for that. But I do remember, having said all that, I think it was in 7th grade. Yeah, I was in 7th grade. I was sick for a month. Like, I was physically ill for a month. I could not go to school. I would not go to school. They couldn't find anything wrong with me, but I was physically ill. Well, what had happened is I had left my backpack on the school bus and was so worried about not being able to do my homework and my parents being upset that I had lost the books that we would be responsible for and all that stuff, that I worried so much that it made me physically sick. And it wasn't until a family friend who was in 8th grade came by the house 3 weeks later and said, Gavin, I've had your backpack here. I saw that you left it on the bus. And then magically, I was fine. Went back to school and I was fine, right? And so when I read something like this, that is the only, I guess, that's the only experience in my life where I might have empathy here about this sentence. Maddie does not miss school often, but is sick a lot. Is it because of her life, the abuse that she suffered by this guy, and I think allowed by this woman, that it makes her physically ill? Like, knowing that what is happening here by him is wrong. And having that inner struggle. It's just, it's it's sad and terrifying all at the same time. Okay. Once when they were at somewhere, Maddie told her it would be cool if they ran into the woods and build a house. Maddie has never told her she truly wanted to run away, but did mention she wanted to get her own house when she is older. Maddie has never tried or threatened to do any kind of this to herself, nor does she ever talk about anyone doing any of that to themselves. The witness stated Maddie allegedly told their mutual friend, redacted, that when she turns 13, she was going to leave the house and never come back. Maddie also communicates with her sister and father, who live in Washington, D.C. Witness believes Maddie is close with her sister. Maddie also talks to different random people through Roblox. She is unaware if Maddie has ever met up with any of the strangers she speaks with. Ooh. Actually, you know what? That put a chill in me because I am nervous about that for my own children. But the biggest danger in Maddie's life wasn't the strangers on Roblox. It was the man who had been abusing her for 5 years in her own home. Ah. Okay. She is unaware if Maddie has ever met up with any of the strangers she speaks with. She's also unaware if Maddie has ever engaged in any appropriate conversations with older men or older women. Maddie has never disclosed anything about sending or receiving inappropriate photos, which I bet she never sent or received those, but many photos were taken of her, if what the police say is true. Her Roblox username is redacted, and she has an Instagram, but she does not know her username. Maddie also has a YouTube Shorts account under this username. On her YouTube account, Maddie will post videos of her dancing with her face covered. Maddie had planned on showing her face on YouTube account once she reached 200 subscribers. Witness stated when they would text each other, it was through the normal text messages on their iPhones. She is unaware if Maddie had any texting applications on her phone. Maddie did not have a boyfriend, but a crush named Redacted that goes to school with them. She claims that he does not like Maddie and ignores her text messages. They also do not hang out with each other. Maddie did not disclose that she wanted to skip school on February 26th and has not asked the witness to skip school with her. She only knows that Maddie takes medication for ADHD and possibly bipolar disorder. She described Maddie as impulsive, having mood swings and symptoms of bipolar disorder. Maddie last took her medication on February 14th, 2024, and would tell everyone about not taking them. Maddie told her she liked not being on the medication because she has more energy when she doesn't take it. She is not aware of Maddie participating in any risky or inappropriate behaviors for her age. She does not know of Maddie hanging out with anyone older outside of school or running away with anyone. She only knows that Maddie is close with her stepdad and talks to him a lot. I need to take a break for a minute. Let's see. Let's take the break after this last paragraph. The witness stated Maddie's mother called her during the evening of February 26th and asked her if she was with Maddie because Maddie was missing. Maddie's mother also told her she saw Maddie at 8. Ooh, I should have. She said Maddie's mother told her she last saw Maddie at 8:45 a.m. when she dropped Maddie off at the church near the school. Stories changing, guys. So many changing stories. She said she dropped her off at the church because Maddie wanted to walk to school, which is unusual. Maddie is typically dropped off in the car line. Witness stated her father went into the woods behind the school during the evening of February 26th in an attempt to locate Maddie, but was unsuccessful. Okay, I need to take a break. I just need to take a break for a minute, guys. This gets This gets to me, and it, you know it, and I should have given you guys some kind of warning on this. If this gets to you too, you have my blessing. Not that you need it, but you have my blessing to go watch or do something else. Wow, Ashley Thompson sent me a $49.99 super sticker. Thank you very much, Ashley Thompson. I really, really appreciate it. And Aaron White gave me an also extremely generous $19.99 super sticker. Thank you both. That is touching and awesome. Thank you for doing that. Let's go to a couple of comments here real quick. GF, how soon would you guess that law enforcement starts looking closer at Jen? Holly, I haven't gone through everything here, but I think that Jen has been on their radar since the beginning. There are too many inconsistencies in the story. They are investigating her. I am supremely confident in that assertion. They are investigating her. GF, why does a grown man need to help a teenager get ready for school? Outrageous. Man, what a great comment. I have raised 2 girls to adulthood, and yeah, they're by the age of 13, there's nothing that you need to do as a father to help your daughters get ready for school when they're younger. I mean, even our 9-year-old, I have to do very little. I have to make sure, like, reminder, you brushed your teeth, right? Yes. Okay. Those kinds of things. That's about it. That is Texas Patty. That is a terrific comment. Good job. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's see. Deirdre says, Gavin, when I was an MP, not sure what an MP is, but I'm going to go on. I worked with a teen girl whose mother was in competition with her daughter who was being the R word by her father. She threw her minor daughter out of the house. Father was in jail. Yeah, so I guess it's not out of the question, kind of what I was asserting, that there might be some kind of anger, some resentment, some jealousy or envy issues. Wow. Astrid Galactic says, Gavin, yes, I've always believed that Jen was jealous of Maddie. In fact, I've always suspected that she was the one who did her in. Even if I'm wrong, there's plenty of accessory accounts on her. Yeah, that's and Mary, yes, Mary reminds me that the birthday party was on Sunday. Thank you very much. And then Gothic Breenac says Stefan and Mom had a small party for her on Thursday the 22nd. Okay, I was conflating those two. Thank you both. Thank you very much for that. And a lot of you are helping me out on that. The party was at her grandmother's house on Sunday evening. Thank you for that, guys. Yeah. And Gothic Breenax clarifies the Soto family had a party on Sunday the 25th for Madeline and Jen. For Madeline, and Jen and Stefan were not there. Jen had to work and Stefan was not invited. Yeah, that is something, that part is new, Candace, to me anyway, that like they didn't want Stefan there. This whole time until today, I thought that Stefan was there for that party, which creeped me out actually. But yeah. I'm sitting here going, I'm glad the family had their like radar perked, but it didn't help. It didn't save her, right? All right. Mooney says, Gavin, do you think Maddie aged out of Stefan's preference range, so he made her expire? Or maybe even thought Maddie was about to tell? I think that the latter part of your comment is probably the more probable, at least in my mind. You guys know that I work as a reporter here in Western PA. As such, I read a lot of criminal complaints. Sadly, I read more than a few of these kinds of things where a little girl has grown up and has gotten to the age and has had enough therapy or whatever has happened in her life to say, you know what, I'm going to tell someone. And then that leads to the arrest of her abuser. So yeah, as the children get old, I think that there is some danger that they could tell. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know that Stefan and Jen had a plan to expire Madeline, but something happened that night that made it happen. And I think they were both involved somehow. That's just my thought on that. Thank you for that comment, Moody. It's always good to see you. Yeah, Stefan probably trained her well not to talk about what was going on. And he may have trained her into thinking that what was going on was absolutely normal and good and loving and caring, which obviously it is the opposite of all of those things. Ginger says, Gavin, hello, new here. Love the stained glass. Yeah, that if you go over to the fish tank, let me take you over there here real quick. Go over to the fish tank. You will find photos of some of the stained glass in the house, including, let me see, there should be some down here somewhere. You see a photo of my office. Here's a bigger photo of my office. And then we also have other stained glass. Oh yeah, this is the main on our staircase stained glass. I know that we're getting a little sidetracked and people are like, Gavin, get on with it. Yeah, you're right. So yes. And Ginger, welcome. Yes, the documents are horrifying. I'm glad you're here and I'm glad that you chimed in. Thanks, Ginger. Baba Yaga says, haven't seen you in a while, Baba Yaga. Maddie was not bipolar, in my opinion. She's a teenage girl living through hell who wouldn't have mood swings. Yeah. Yes. Thank you very much. That is a great comment, Yaga. Thank you. Karen says, Florida can charge for unaliving if unborn baby dies because mom is unalive. Do we assume that since Stefan Stearns has not been charged for unaliving an unborn child, Maddie was not pregnant? I think that's a good assumption. Yeah, I think that's a good assumption. I don't know where the pregnancy thing came from. Helen says, I think Maddie was pregnant. She was late. She was sick a lot. So, I mean, is it possible she was in the very beginning? Like she just, her barely missed her cycle? Possibly. I think that's something that they would find in autopsy. And I think that they would charge it. But it's possible. Pauline, do you think it's possible Jennifer killed her daughter? I think it is possible. Yes. I think it's more probable that Stearns did it. Panda Ann says, don't apologize for taking a break. Thank you. I appreciate it. Deidre, MP was military police. I thought that maybe you were in like Great Britain and you were a member of parliament or something. Military police. Thank you for that clarification. I'm not even sure how to pronounce Jana Zalise Diaz. I'm sorry if I've mispronounced your name. Very disturbing. Thanks for all you're doing. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Gavin, will we ever learn cause of death and toxicology? So I did see today that there are rumors of strangulation. I think that the only chance that we will ever find out cause of death and toxicology for sure is if this gets to trial. Or if they accidentally don't redact something, I guess. That's possible. But if it goes to trial, then we will definitely learn how Maddie died. The rumor that was, it was spread on News Nation is that strangulation is the cause of death. And I don't know. I'm going to wait and see on that one. Actually, Nifty 50 just said, I also saw today that it was said that she was strangled to death. Yes, I did hear that. Gavin, Maddie's friend, she was late for her cycle. I think Stearns got scared. Okay. Yeah, Gavin, there is no way that over the 4 years of this happening that Maddie did not say something to her mother. It's impossible to me. She knew. Yeah, I agree. Monica asked the same question, which I've answered, but thank you for the question. Did Stefan drug Maddie? We won't know without toxicology. Good questions. Ginger back. I saw one of your videos the other day, started following the fish tank. Well, I'm going to have to go check out these photos. Well, I hope you enjoy it. Okay, Gavin, the doxair period was late per her best friend. Okay, I haven't gone through everything, so I will check it out. Let's go through a couple more, and then we will go over to the next part of this doc. Monica says, do you think Maddie just woke up and finally realized what he was doing? Because it seemed most of the abuse was done when she was sleeping. It does say that some of the photos were done while she was sleeping, but not all of them. No, I mean, it's possible that she said, I've had enough. I'm not going to do this. It could be. And this is pure speculation. This is real speculationville here, but it could be that she's like, no, I'm not doing it, Stefan. I'm not doing it. And then that leads to a fight. She gets strangled to death, and that is the end of it. That could be. All right, and we'll pick up with your other comments when we take another break. All right. Here's an interview on February 29th, 2024 at 1:02 in the afternoon. Redacted said she is the 7th grade school counselor at this school. She met Maddie at the beginning of the year when she was being transferred over to the ESE service department. I think that is English as a second language. So who is being transferred? The school counselor or Maddie? I don't know. Anyway, she was told she has ADHD and has a hard time focusing. She also has anxiety and panic attacks. Redacted would conduct check-ins with Maddie at school and has met her. I'm sorry, I'm ahead of myself. Met with her approximately 6 times since the beginning of the school year. Typically, Maddie will come to her with feelings of panic and being overwhelmed. When she asks Maddie what's going on, she will tell her it's anxiety and she's overstimulated from being at school. Maddie has also said she's dealing with things at home, including fighting with her mom. That could be a clue, guys. Maybe she was coming to her senses. Maybe she did tell Jen. And have I not been showing you guys Acrobat as I've been doing this? Sorry about that. Let me go back to here. Sorry about that. So she's been dealing with things at home, including fighting with her mom. Mom would get upset because Maddie is forgetful and doesn't clean up like she's expected to. She disclosed when mom yells at her. No, ESE can't be English as a second language. That's ESL. I'm not sure what ESE is. Somebody tell me what that is. Because I was going to say, Jen and Stefan don't speak as if English is their second language. I really took that. Went the wrong direction with that. Okay. She disclosed when mom yells at her, it makes her feel overstimulated, and then she can't respond the way she wants to. Redacted stated they discussed strategies on how to calm herself down and talk to mom when she's calm and how she's feeling. At each of their check-ins during December, January, and February, Maddie reported that things were improving at home. And I think, honestly, of course they were. Stefan had gone. He was gone. Of course things were better at home. Okay, and things were better at school. Maddie reported that her mom's boyfriend was living in the home and she didn't like him because he was weird. When she pressed Maddie about why she felt he was weird, She claimed it was because he ate all their food, hangs out in their living room, and makes her feel uncomfortable. To me, I think these are red flags to any guidance counselor. I don't know that there's anything that's reportable about it, but I'm sure that there are red flags there. Maddie reported in December that mom's boyfriend was moving out of the home and that made her happy. Maddie never disclosed having depression or attempting or thinking about unaliving herself. Maddie never disclosed any relationship dynamics between her mom and her mom's boyfriend. She also never disclosed anything inappropriate happening between her and her mother's boyfriend. So I would imagine when this counselor was seeing these red flags, she was asking those questions. Maddie's mom told Redacted, the counselor, that Maddie was seeing a therapist weekly. Maddie's grades appeared to be stable and seemed to be improving since December, when she started to report things were getting better at home and at school, when Stefan Stearns left the house. Their last check-in was February 6th, 2024. So 3 weeks, a little less than 3 weeks before she died. And Maddie reported that she was really happy and things were good with mom and at school. Okay, the last one is interview with Redacted. Redacted stated he is, and then Redacted, he stated, Maddie never discussed her home life or personal life with him. She has never disclosed any information about physical, SA, or mental abuse. She never expressed any thoughts or feelings of taking her life. Maddie did not have any changes in her behavior. She appeared to be happy and would participate in class. He described her as normal and helpful. There hasn't been any change with Maddie since the beginning of the school year. I wonder if that's a teacher or a vice principal or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I would imagine that Maddie was feeling much better about life after her abuser of 5/13 of her life, more than a third of her life, was not in the picture. I bet she felt much better. Just absolute wackadoo. Wackadoo. Let's get back to a couple comments. Let's see, Gavin, it hasn't been confirmed, but her friend said she was late. She may not have been pregnant, but I'm sure he kept a close eye on her cycle. Oh, I bet so. I bet he knew it better than she did at age 13 as a sicko abuser of little girls. When he realized she was late, he freaked out. Yeah, possible. Astrid, I wonder if he was feeding her morning after pills. That is a dark thing. I mean, I'm not calling you dark, but that has never even occurred to me at all. But if an abuser was doing something that would indeed leave his abusee as possibly facing pregnancy, I would not be surprised if he was. And I think toxicology would show that. It depends on what the standard tox screen is and if they order anything beyond that. But wow. Yeah, I saw this Gothic Brainax that he was found with an account on at least one fetish website. He was into autoerotic. Yeah, what she's saying there. I don't want to get demonetized. I'm very selfish of me, but I also want this video to get to a lot of people. So maybe he accidentally strangled her. That's possible. Yeah, let's see. Continuing with Gothic Brainax, Madeline's friend said she was late for her cycle in January, but like in the Watson Peterson case, he would be charged for the unaliving of the baby too. So we don't think she was pregnant. Yeah, I think that. I mean, I can't imagine a prosecutor not charging something that they could charge. I mean, having said that aloud, they still haven't charged Jenn Soto, and I think that there's plenty they can charge her with, but maybe they're just still gathering evidence. I think with Stearns, he probably would be charged if she was pregnant. But that gets back to the whole morning after pills comment, which hadn't even crossed my mind. How dark is that? I bet there are like black market websites where a person like him could get those, or like he could get Jen to get those prescriptions. Oh man. Dog Defender, it's good to see you again. The police may know much more than we may know. Oh, well, that's guaranteed for sure. If she was pregnant, for example, wouldn't necessarily be shared with the public. Such a sad thing to hear. Most horrific story. I think they would charge her. They would charge him if she were pregnant. I think so. But I mean, I'm often wrong about things, right? Tara and Rosie, I was abused from the age 4 to 11, never told anyone until 25 years. Yeah, and Tara, first of all, I'm very sorry for that abuse that you suffered. But also, you are not alone in that. That is really typical. And I'm glad that you told someone. I hope you're getting help. Let's see. Let's go here to A Downlands, which I'm sure I've mispronounced it. Odd that Jen said Maddie loved all of her gifts, yet her best friend mentioned being disappointed about how much money she got. Total teen for sure. But what was the point of Jen saying it? I don't know. Yeah, ESL is English is a special second language, or special education English. Gavin, ESE is a special education program. It's like an IEP. Ah, gotcha. Okay. Those are words that I understand. I dropped my pencil. Where'd my pencil? Ah, it's out of reach. Now I understand it. Okay. ESE is like an IEP. Gotcha. Yeah. GF exceptional student education. Okay. So yeah, I mean, either way, she was in ESE, and it was either she needed extra help or she was above and beyond mentally, right? Yeah, Military Ma says I was thinking maybe he over medicated her. That's possible. Nifty 50 ESE program serves students who have disabilities and students who are gifted. The purpose of ESE is to help each child with a disability or exceptionality progress in school and prepare for life. Okay, good. Thank you. Lara O'Neill or Lara. Either way, it's a beautiful name. Lara/Lara. Either way, it's a beautiful name. GF, many parents have children for narcissistic reasons and secretly hold their child in contempt. Yeah, I think that I think the story is that Madeline was an oops, I think. And I feel like she was treated that way. What do I know, though? Oh, Baba Yaga says morning after pill is over the counter in most states. I did not know that. Thank you very much. And Helen also tells me that you don't need a prescription. Okay. Gavin, maybe ease your minds. It takes a while for pregnancy hormones to leave the body. So if it was a fresh pregnancy that he gave her a pill for, her hormone levels would not have returned to normal. That would have been picked up on talks, I'm sure. Karen says, Gavin, a lot of folks speculating if she was pregnant. I think law enforcement would charge her with that. I agree with you. Gavin, he had at least 1,700 files on his phone. It's likely he could have been selling the files. Another dark thing, and I came to that realization yesterday in our live stream on this yesterday. I was thinking, or we were talking, and it hadn't occurred to me then either. Man, I might be the most naive person on YouTube, but hadn't occurred to me then either that like I originally thought, oh, he's keeping those for himself. But I mean, I think it's probably more likely that he was distributing them, right? GF, Any ideas when this will go to trial? Thank you. So it really depends on the defense strategy. And people hate it when I bring this up, but I always do, because we have a constitutional right to a speedy trial here in the United States. Stephen Stearns has that constitutional right. Speedy trial, is differently defined in different jurisdictions, but basically it means we shouldn't be delay. However, most defendants do give up their right to a speedy trial. Either they actually sign a document saying, I give up that right in order for me to prepare my defense with my defense team, or they do it through the continued filing of motions and so forth, which eventually just leads to the trial being delayed. So I have no idea. I think the earliest it would be probably about a year, but it could be longer than that. Let's see. Gavin, I wonder if law enforcement collected the spare tire to see if it was a natural, flat, or tampered. Driving around with Madeline propped in his vehicle is evil personified, heartbreaking. Yeah, and there are, I actually scanned a couple of other documents. They did get his tire out of the trash compactor, right? So yeah, there's a lot. Guys, we're going to go over a lot of that. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. We've had over 1,000 people on here. We have 1,000 people on here right now, which is pretty amazing. Thank you for doing that. Before you go, I'm going to do kind of a shameless self-plug, but it's really not for me. I just want to show you guys something. On the front page of my website, if we can get back over here, are a list of contributions and appearances I've made on different places. And I want to tell you that if you click here on the BBC, my episode of Home Sleuth just dropped here, let me pause that. Just dropped maybe half an hour before I started this live stream. So if you would like to check it out, just click on the little BBC window on my homepage and take a listen to that that podcast episode by BBC Sounds. It's kind of fun. And it's about the Ellen Greenberg case. If you want to know more about the Ellen Greenberg case, it's one of my, I would call it my pet cases. Scroll on down and click on Ellen Greenberg, and in a very similar manner to Madeline's page, we've got a lot, including crime scene photos and case documents and so forth. I mean, I've got more there than on any other case, I think. So check out the Ellen Greenberg case. And if you're on Facebook, please join us over on the Fish Tank. We have a lot of fun over there, and I hope that you will consider joining that if you're on Facebook. With that, guys, it's late. I've kept you long enough. I will bid you adieu, and I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, take care. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.